Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for morning Bhagavatam class. Today is 1st March 2023. We are going to discuss a very nice verse today. This has got deep insights and it's very important for our bhakti life. Let's start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Vadrayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Makam Karati Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kṛpatvam Aham Vande Shri Guru Dīna-vatsalāḥ. Hare Krishna. Today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 5 and text number 30. As we have been hearing from all our leaders very nicely, they have been sharing how Narada Muni explaining his past life to Vyasadev. And here the important thing is when they bade farewell and the sages instructed Narada on the most confidential knowledge about the Lord. So we'll start the words. Is there anybody who can repeat after me the words?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So this is the Google map of our first canto, 5th chapter, Narada's instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. We are located somewhere here. 20 words number 23rd to 31. Narada Muni narrates his past life. And it has been divided into 3 sections. Then section 1 is service to bhakti-vedāntas, then stages in his devotion. Now sages instructed and most confidential knowledge about the Lord. If you talk about these first 2 sections, this is service. Narada Maharshi and his mother, they served these saintly people, bhakti-vedāntas. And also Narada Muni explains the various stages in his devotional life. And now because of these 2 sections, now he is getting reciprocation. The reciprocation is sages, they gave their blessings and bestowed, transcendental knowledge on Narada Muni. We'll move forward. Jñānaṁ guhyatamam yat.
Jñānam guhyatamam yattat.
Sākṣād bhagavatoditam.
Sākṣāt bhagavatoditam.
Anvavocan gamiṣyantaḥ.
Anvavocan gamiṣyantaḥ.
Kṛpayā dīna-vatsalāḥ.
Kṛpayā dīna-vatsalāḥ.
Thank you, Mataji. Word meaning, translation and purport by His divine grace. Bhakti-vedānta Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Jñānam, knowledge, guhyatamam, most confidential. Yat, what is? That sākṣād, directly. Bhagavatoditam, propounded by the Lord Himself. Anvavocan, gave instruction. Gamiṣyantaḥ, while departing from kṛpayā, by causeless mercy. Dīna-vatsalāḥ, those who are very kind to the poor and meek. Translation. As they were leaving, those bhakti-vedāntas who are very kind to poor-hearted souls instructed me in that most confidential subject, which is instructed by the personality of Godhead Himself. Translation, Purport by Srila Prabhupada. A pure Vedantist or a bhakti-vedānta instructs followers exactly according to their instructions of the Lord Himself. The personality of Godhead, both in Bhagavad-gītā and in all other scriptures, has definitely instructed men to follow the Lord only. The Lord is the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. The whole manifested creation is existing by His will. And by His will, when the whole show is finished, He will remain in His eternal abode with all His paraphernalia. Before the creation, He was there in the eternal abode. And after the annihilation, He will continue to remain. He is not, therefore, one of the created beings. He is transcendental. In the Bhagavad-gītā, the Lord says that long before the instruction was imparted to Arjuna, the same was instructed to the sun god, and in course of time, the same instruction being wrongly handled and being broken was again instructed to Arjuna because he was his perfect devotee and friend. Therefore, the instruction of the Lord can be understood by the devotees only and no one else. The impersonalist who has no idea of the transcendental form of the Lord cannot understand this most confidential knowledge of the Lord. The expression most confidential is significant here because knowledge of devotional service is far above knowledge of impersonal Brahman. Jñānam means ordinary knowledge or any branch of knowledge. This knowledge develops up to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman. Above this, when it is partially mixed with devotion, such knowledge develops to knowledge of Paramatma or the all-pervading Godhead. This is more confidential, but when such knowledge is turned into pure devotional service and the confidential part of transcendental knowledge is attained, it is called the most confidential knowledge. This most confidential knowledge is imparted by the Lord to Brahma, Arjuna, Uddhava, etc. Tatsat. Om ajñānatimirandasya jñānāṁ chakshmurmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Siddhatakamulam Sri Guru Vaishnavabhya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sravadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Vishakam Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīna-vatsalāḥ Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostame Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shivansuti Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Papanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jñānam guhyatamaṁ yattat sākṣād bhagavatoditam anvavocan gamiṣyantaḥ kṛpayā dīna-vatsalāḥ. Very wonderful words, and this we need to inculcate in our daily life. What is that? As they were living, means Narada Maharshi and his mother, they very nicely served all these saintly people. And as they are living, these bhakti-vedāntas, they are very kind, especially for the fallen souls. And they wanted to give something. Normally, materially also, if we serve somebody, they will be very pleased. And in turn, they wanted to give something materially also. Then why not spiritually? And these bhakti-vedāntas, normally Vaishnavas are so merciful. When they are pleased, surely they will give some prasadam from their bag, wherever they kept. When Vaishnavas travel also, they distribute books, they speak to them, they share the Krishna Katha, and they distribute sweets, prasadam. And also here, when Narada Muni and mother, they nicely served and pleased these rishis, the saintly people, they imparted, confidential subject, which is instructed by the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. And in this way, Narada Muni was very fortunate to receive this transcendental knowledge. Then, when I was browsing the title of this chapter, Narada Muni narrates his past life to Vyasadeva, it is mentioned. So, how can he remember his previous births? It is only by the mercy of the Lord. Even by the mercy of the Lord only, Jadabharat, in his previous life, deer, and into the previous life he was Bharata. So Bharata became a deer, and a deer became a Jadabharata. So in all these, though the soul is the same, but he changed so many bodies. But the Lord gave him, the memory power. But unfortunately, it is not given to 99% of the people approximately, and we too do not know who we were in the last birth, or 100 births back, or thousands and millions of births back. We do not remember. The Lord says that is not required for you. And now you have come to Krishna consciousness. You do it very diligently, and you should not misuse it. So when Narada Muni, he was sharing his background or previous life, he was sharing so many learnings, how it is important to serve Vaishnavas and get their blessings. So similarly, bhakti-vedāntas, not only bhakti-vedāntas, a person who chants the holy name of the Lord, when he comes in contact with other people also, he will tell them, oh my dear, chanting Hare Krishna is very nice. You can also chant, just for courtesy sake, he says, chant and be happy. So that person is able to pick it up, and he will be also very fortunate. So bhakti-vedāntas here, they gave this spiritual knowledge. This is a guhyatamaṁ. So it's a it's really confidential matter. Nobody can able to give this and understand the others also. So, but during the course of time, this transcendental knowledge has been broken. So we know this from Bhagavad-gītā chapter 4 and text 1 and 2, like Sri Bhagavan Vacha, imam vimashikte yogam proktavan aham avyayam. Vivashvan manave praha manurikshvake abravit. That meaning is the personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivashvan, and Vivashvan instructed to Manu, the father of mankind. And Manu in turn instructed to Ikshvaku. Then Arjuna got it out. Because Krishna was speaking to Arjuna, then Arjuna got out. You and me, we were only contemporary people, you are my cousin, then how did you impart in this knowledge thousands and millions of years back to the sun god? How did you go to the sun planet? Or whether he came to this earthly planet? That was the doubts by Arjuna. So the Lord very diligently answers this. Oh, Arjuna, at that time, you are also there, I was also there, but you forgot, I remember. Because I'm the Supreme Lord, I can able to remember, but you cannot be able to remember. Then Arjuna accepted it. Oh, really? Okay, whatever you do, it's wonderful. Then in 4.2, Lord says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakalaina mahata yoga nashta parantapa. That's this supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession. Now these bhakti-vedāntas, they are also coming in the disciplic succession. They are about to instruct to Narada Muni. And the saintly here, in 4.2 it is mentioned, the saintly kings understood in that way, but in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science, as it appears to be lost. This is the information we have available in the Bhagavad-gītā. And why is it so confidential? Also, it is mentioned in the Bhagavad-gītā, chapter 9 and 2nd sloka, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Avagaham Dhamyam Susukam Kartam Avyayam. This knowledge is the king of education. See, we go to schools and colleges, we do MBBS, MTech, BTech, and we are so proud. We are doctors and engineers and lawyers, but that is only material education. That does not have much value. So here, this is now king of education. So Narada Muni did not become a king to get this knowledge, nor he was ruling any country. Simply he served Bhakti-vedāntas, the saintly people, the Vaishnavas. That's all. Immediately the knowledge imparted on him. Similarly, in our life also, we are supposed to serve all the devotees, especially those who have got sound knowledge. We need to humbly serve them, but not artificially. So this knowledge, because it is Rajavidya, and also it is Rajaguhyam also. Why is it Guhyam, secret? Means not ordinary people or fallen people or not sinful people can take this knowledge. They would have done some sukriti in the previous life, and then they can get this knowledge. But however, It is a open secret. It is available to all of them. So in the 9.2, it is mentioned that it is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. So perfection of religion, what we think, we do annadan or avayavadan, or like, distribution of so many things free of cost, and digging roads, and also giving annadan. These things are only body related. It does not give any impetus for the soul platform. So because this is a guhyam, it is everlasting, and it is also joyfully performed, not artificially it is performed. So like Madhavendra Puri, he pleased Ishwar Puri. So, and he got blessed to have the Supreme Lord as his disciple. But at the same time, Ishwar Puri has got a god brother also. His name was Ramachandra Puri. But he was a little troublesome devotee, and he, in a way, he behaved, an offensive mentality toward his spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri, as a result, he got somewhat upset with his disciple. But Ramachandra Puri he even started criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Therefore, he had fallen, and he did not get Krishna Prema. So this is the problem. So the point to understand is, as much as possible, we are supposed to serve the bhakti-vedāntas, the saintly people. So who are bhakti-vedāntas? Means those who are following this path of Krishna consciousness, they are all bhakti-vedāntas. Even in after Kurukshetra battle over also, Vidura also instructed Dhritarashtra. So he could not take much benefit from Vidura. Then even Jadabharata also instructed Rahugana, and our great Narada Muni also instructed Bhagavad Bhakti to Prahalad right from the womb, and he got him enlightened. And Narada Muni also instructed Dhruva Maharaj, and also Bhugari, and also the sons of Daksha. In this way, he gave Bhagavad Bhakti because he got it from somebody, and he is also giving to others. So when we get this all auspicious things, and we are supposed to distribute to others, and we should not retain with us. And many devotees, they think I am the great scholar, I know all Bhagavad-gītā, and you invite me, I will give a class, okay? Then we are very puffed up, and we want them to glorify us, and this way we cannot progress. But it is an kind of, we are inviting these aspects. So this is not the proper method. And also when we serve the pure devotees, and it is not that artificially we smile, we wear a smile, we serve them. That is not the proper thing. From the core of our heart, we should serve them very humbly. And because Krishna is already there in the heart as Paramatma, he can easily sense what kind of mood we have. Sarva Bhava Grahihi Janardana. Also, we should be very careful in our mode. So when we please pure devotee, he will impart most secrets of devotional service. Like so many sannyasis, they come, they visit our temple or our houses, and when we nicely serve them prasadam, oh Maharaj, oh Prabhuji, oh Mataji, you kindly be seated, and we make Vyasasan, and we serve them prasadam, and we pick up and drop them. And I'm talking about this Kali Yuga contemporary situation, but this happened long back, thousands and thousands of years ago. But still, the same knowledge is still available, devotees are still available. So when we please the pure devotee, we need to check what actually he wants, what actually he likes. Those things we are supposed to serve. It is not that we have cooked elaborate items and we simply force on him, and that is not the proper method. So we need to first check with the bhakti-vedāntas what actually they like, how I can able to serve them. Most importantly, the pleasing manner is very, very important. They should satisfy for our services. then they will give so many gifts, so many benefits. They're all, even they can give material benefits also. So the Lord is not an ordinary living being, but he is the supreme living being. But at the same time, spiritual master is also not ordinary, but he is a representative of the Lord. And we should not consider him an ordinary person. And we should not, we must follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Otherwise, it becomes a guru ravag. So, sometime back, we had been to picnic. Our Rajanath Prabhu, he conducted one game, how this knowledge has been lost. Like, he made one big line of devotees and he passed some message to the devotee 1, then the same message to be passed to the devotee 2, devotee 3, like that. When it reaches the devotee 10, the information is almost condensed and it is almost lost. The same way, this knowledge is also, the transcendental knowledge is almost lost. But all the Krishna will arrange so that it can be properly re-established so that people can able to take the benefit out of that. So here in the purport, I'm just reading out, the impersonalist who has no idea of the transcendental form of the Lord cannot understand this most confidential message of the Lord. So this atheist, Mayavadis, atheists, they cannot able to understand. They do not know the form of the Lord. When we see the form of the Lord, and then only we are, completely attracted, and we can develop a kind of loving relationship. Otherwise, we guess, oh, Lord will be like this, the Creator may be like this. It is only a mental concoction. Out of that, he does not get anything. Maybe he may be little pious. Beyond that, he may not get much. So this is but when such knowledge is turned into pure devotional service, and the confidential part of transcendental knowledge is attained, it is called the most confidential knowledge. This most confidential knowledge was imparted by the Lord to Brahma, Arjuna, Uddhava. These are the very, very VIPs and famous recipients. They directly received from the Supreme Lord. But no worries. And we also received this transcendental knowledge through the parampara. It is as good as told by the Supreme Lord himself. And there is no doubt at all. Okay, so here I stop. And finally, the summary is, when we serve the saintly people, the mood should be very, very humble, and genuinely we should serve them. And they don't keep anything in return. And they are not selfish people also, but they are selfless people. Surely they will give some benediction, either prasadam or, of course, transcendental knowledge is already given. In this way, we can please, as Narada Muni and his mother pleased, they got in return abundant bhakti. So thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.